This is Adriana King. Adriana King was in police custody for the last 48 hours or so, and she's
More
just
than
been
48.
released on bail. Miss King, what was the experience like?
Um, hmm. How do I put all of this in words? I would try. Well, this all started on Friday afternoon. I was home cleaning and getting my daughter something to eat when
About what
police.
time was that?
That was around maybe a little after 2, I think it was. A little after 2. The Black Squad RU showed up, about 6 of them, usual guns and whatever else. Um, the sergeant, though, um, well, he explained to me that I was needed for questioning, and I asked in relation to what, and he said protest. So I said, well, okay, just let me get myself together, and I'll come with you. They gave me a few minutes to do that because, of course, I haven't, a daughter. I'm a single parent, and so I had to make arrangements for her and all of that. I was taken to Kingstown, and
That's the Central Police Station.
yes, Central Police Station. And while there, I was told that I was wanted in questioning for questioning because I have made some Facebook lives inciting violence. Um, that was all I was told then. About 2 hours or so afterwards, when we sat down with the investigating officer, with my lawyer, she explained that I made a live in which I said that we should, if Ashel Morgan were
Okay, you
to,
made a life in which you are alleged to have said certain things.
yes. You want me to say the certain things? Or?
No, no, no.
Okay, good. All right. So that's that. And then I was told that I would not be allowed to leave unless ASP Francis
Was the head
gives,
of CID.
yes, gives that go
I
ahead.
think he's actually superintendent.
Yes. So he came back around maybe 8 or so in the night, and they were told that I can't leave. I was then put outside where they usually hold people at the top of the stairs. I don't know what that area is called. And there I felt unsafe because some guys came in talking about people trying to shoot them and all sorts of madness. I was like, okay, no, this is not it for me at all. So I went in and I asked to be placed somewhere else that was not, seemed as though they didn't want to do that. So I asked to speak to my lawyer, and then she did speak to them and, explained that that is not proper place to have somebody you have on question or whatever the case is. So then I was moved to Kettles around 9:45. When I got here is when I saw my cousin Kenson. So what they did is that they actually,
When you say you saw him, what do you mean?
I saw him here. He was here leaving as I was entering. So they actually switched us because he would have been at Kettles
So
while
Kensu,
I was.
just for the benefits of the viewers, Kensu King is also an activist who was arrested and charged also.
Right. So
And he's your cousin.
yes, he's my cousin. So what they did is actually switched us. So he went to Kingstown to Central, while I stayed here at Kettles. The officers here at Kettles, I must say, have been, should I use the word accommodated? I don't, but I have not been stressed by them whatsoever. I must say that. My only stress is that I have been unable to have a shower because the bathroom facilities are covered in feces. It's really nasty in there. I mean, so much so that the officer who showed me the facility, when she came out, she went straight to sanitize her hands. It's that filthy. So I'm right now just looking forward to going home and having a nice long shower.
Well, your lawyer told me that you've been slapped with 4 charges. I try to remember them on July, sometime in July, and also on August 5th. You took part in or were concerned in. You have the charges there.
Yeah, I have them
Do you mind
here.
reading them?
Okay, so it says, for that you on the 5th of August 2021 at Kingstown in St. Vincent and Grenadines and within the 1st Magisterial District did knowingly take part in a public procession or meeting in contravention of Section 5, subsection 1 of the Public Order Act Chapter 396 of the revised edition of the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 2009. Okay. Is this in the same thing? Okay, no.
And I think it's the same charge in a date in August.
Yeah.
On August the 5th.
29th of July, 2021. That's the same charge day.
And the other one is
and
on
then
August
there's
the 5th.
August 5th and July 2021, which states that in St. Vincent and Grenadines and within the first magisterial district did organize or was concerned in organizing a public procession without notifying the Commissioner of Police at least 24 hours before the procession. Quite interesting.
So you've been released, I understand, on station bail?
Yes.
And you're to appear before the Kingston Magistrate tomorrow? Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock, I believe.
You've been involved in a lot of political activism. You even threw your hat in the ring last year to represent the opposition New Democratic Party in the elections. You weren't successful in that bid. Now you're facing charges. You're a public servant, a teacher. How long have you been a public servant?
Since about 2012 or 13, I think.
Okay.
About 8 or so years.
Are you phased? Would you continue with your activism?
No, I'm not. This is only motivation to continue, because Kenton, if we're living in a society, Kenton, sorry, darling, if we're living in a society where people are not allowed to protest, where people are not allowed to critique the government or whatever ruling regime it is, where people have to be fearful of victimization on their job, in their life, even death, then we're not living in a democracy. And as far as I know, St. Vincent and Grenadines should be a democracy, and we must ensure that we do everything to preserve that, to preserve our democracy. If we don't, we're going to end up living in a communist state. And I don't think the average Vincentian wishes for that to happen. So we must continue to protest. We must continue to fight to ensure that our democratic rights are upheld.
Okay, for those people who do not know, what are the issues that these protests are intended to highlight? If you can tell me those briefly.
Briefly. Wow. Well, as you know, the protest would have started a few months ago when Rise Hiruna called persons out to stand up for Mr. John, who, his case is now...
Mr. John was shot at his home.
Right.
And a Senator Asher Morgan, a government senator, and Assistant Director of Public Prosecution, Karim Nelson, they're implicated, and their next court date is on Tuesday in Kaliako.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the matters.
Right. It started then. And of course, other things started, adding on to it. So now we have the amendments to the Public Health Act being another major issue that people are protesting. Because as it stands now, we do not have the right, we as Vincentians do not have the right to, say no to mandatory vaccination. We do not have the right to say no for our children either. And that...
Well, if I may, the government is saying that vaccines are required for certain frontline workers. And
yes.
Based on the latest that I heard from the Prime Minister, I think it's for immigration officers, customs officers, doctors, nurses, and I think there's another group that I can...
But let's not forget that the Prime Minister himself also said that the list is not complete.
Yes, that's true.
He did say that.
Yes.
So although he would have named some, he has said that the list isn't complete, and we do not know when he would complete the list, how many more he would add. And let's not forget too that the very week that La Soufrière last erupted, there was a push to get teachers to be vaccinated, by the same government, because it was considered that, as the Prime Minister explained, you will be considered frontline worker if you're in high contact with public, and teachers are. So pretty soon he'll be knocking on the doors of teachers, because he was there before. We basically got saved by the eruption of La Soufrière that caused a little bit of distraction, if you want to put it that way. But it won't be a surprise for teachers to be on that list. We've already seen Trinidad. As a matter of fact, not just Trinidad, but I started reading about right here in St. Vincent, where they're now bringing in vaccines for children. So
Well, it's a vaccine that children can take, children 12 and older.
good, but at the end of the
Which
day,
is a Pfizer.
parent should be the person saying whether or not their child is vaccinated. We have heard spokespersons for the government saying that vaccinations for polio and so forth, children have to take it. That's not so. There are children in our schools who have not been immunized because these vaccines are not mandatory. They're recommended, highly recommended, but they're not mandatory. But now you have a situation where you're bringing in a vaccine. You've already taken out the clause that gave parents the right to decide whether or not their child should be vaccinated. So people have to stand up and fight.
Do you mind if I ask you what is your personal view on the vaccine and the COVID-19 vaccine?
I think it should be up to persons to decide whether or not they want to be vaccinated. That's my personal opinion.
So you're not anti-vax? You're not?
Oh, definitely not. I have very close friends who are vaccinated. As a matter of fact, if you're anybody who were to look at my program that I do on a Wednesday night, my good friend Shane has been vaccinated fully. Guevara, Leacock, they're all good friends of mine. They've been vaccinated. My sisters have been vaccinated. 2 of them have been vaccinated. So it's not an issue for me whether somebody wants to be vaccinated or not. My issue is imposing vaccination on people. That to me is totally wrong.
All right, thank you very much, Miss King, and I allow you to go and get your shower. So this is Adriana King. Adriana King is an activist. She's been in police custody for the last 48 hours or so, and she's been there are 4 charges brought against her, and she's just been released on session bail. She's expected to appear tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock before the Kingston Magistrate to respond to those charges. Miss King, thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you, Kenton.